Good afternoon, everybody. We are coming to you live on this Sunday afternoon. It is April 26th, 2020. We have the highlights of the Michigan-Notre Dame game back in 2011 on in the background. We were getting a little nostalgic, so we thought we'd jump on live and talk NFL draft and how the Wolverines did in the draft this year and see what teams they're headed out to. Alright, so as everybody knows, the draft was quote-unquote virtual this year, where Commissioner Goodell was supposedly in his basement, or in a studio that looked like his basement, which I thought was a little hokey, a little tacky. He could have been in a studio setting and had a little bit more flair to the production, but it is what it is. And a little bit I watched, it looked like some of the players who were at home waiting for their call weren't all that excited about the lack of pomp and circumstance that was going on. So we'll see how they end up doing this year. But overall, I guess it was a pretty good draft. Like I said, I didn't watch too much of it, but I guess at the end, all the picks are made, all the rounds are closed out, and hopefully we get into summer camp in a couple weeks, and then in August we start with preseason. I know there was some new CBA agreement that went through. I don't know if they were planning on stretching out the schedule this year to the additional games, or I'm not exactly sure what was involved in the new players union contract or whatever it was that went through this last round of negotiations. But I don't know that I'd like to see more than 16 games, but I don't know that we need 4 full preseason games. So if they want to take 1 or 2 preseason games away and stretch the season out to 17 or 18 games, I don't think you'd hear fans complain too much, although the 2 teams that end up making it to the Super Bowl are going to play anywhere from 20 to 23 games that year. So, I don't know. If there's 18 regular season, at least 20, if not 21 games. So that's a long season. But we'll see. Other than that, I've heard all sorts of different things about what's going to actually happen this year with the games. Everyone's confident that players are going to play, the games are going to be played, but there's talk of no fans in the seats and stadiums being empty, so I don't know what that's all about. I think it kind of takes away from some of the atmosphere of the game. But if that's what it takes to get the players on the field and get the games played this year, so be it. Obviously the same with college football. So I'm more of a college football fan than an NFL. So I definitely want to see college games being played this year. But I do have doubts as to whether or not Michigan can continue its however many streak of sold out games, 400,000 plus capacity games they're currently holding as their streak. If Michigan's willing to pack 110,000 into that stadium for 7 or 8 games this year, then I think the NFL can probably fit 50 or 60 into all of their stadiums. So we'll see. But with that said, let's talk about the Michigan Wolverines and how they did in the draft this year. Reading from an article from MGO Blue. I'll link that in the description just for disclosure and whatever it's called. Anyway, the article says Michigan ties second highest total with 10 selections in 2020 NFL Draft. This is by David Ablauf and Chad Shepard from MGO Blue, like I said. New York, University of Michigan football program tied for the second most players ever selected during an NFL draft, with 10 players chosen during the 2020 selection meetings, including 8 Wolverines during rounds 4 through 7 on Saturday, April 25th. That group joins first-round pick Cesar Ruiz, who went to the New Orleans Saints, and second-round selection Josh Uche, who went to the Patriots, who were chosen during the first 2 days. The school record of 11 draftees came during the 2017 NFL Draft, with 8 defensive players and 3 offensive performers chosen. In addition to this season, UM had 10 players drafted during the 1972 and 1974 seasons. So, pretty good selections. 10 total this year. I know the SEC did best as far as what league, with total picked, but that seems to be the SEC, then the Big Ten, and then 3, 4, and 5 can battle it out every year. So let's take a look at where each of the 10 players went. Just scrolling down the article. All right, so we had on Thursday, April 23rd, round 1, we had Cesar Ruiz, position center, went in the first round, pick 24, to the New Orleans Saints. On Friday, April 24th, rounds 2 and 3, Josh Uche, linebacker, went in the second round, pick 60, to the Patriots. I'll be honest here, I am and was a New England Patriots fan, but I think that was more for Tom Brady being from Michigan. So now that he's gone off to Tampa Bay, I'm not sure if I'm going to become a Tampa Bay fan this year or stick with the Patriots. Saturday, April 25th, rounds 4 through 7. Ben Bredesen, OL, 4th round, 143rd pick, went to the Baltimore Ravens. Khalil Hudson, the Viper, linebacker, 5th round, 162nd pick, went to the Washington Redskins. Michael Dana, defensive line, 5th round, 177th, Kansas City Chiefs. Michael Onwenu, offensive line, 6th round, 182nd pick, another to the Patriots. DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones, wide receiver, went in the 6th round, 187th pick, Cleveland Browns. Wow, he dropped off, huh? I don't know what happened with his scouting. Maybe he had a bad combine. I'm not sure. I wasn't following all that. John Runyon Jr., I'm assuming, offensive line, 6th round, 192nd pick, went to the Packers. Josh Metellus, safety, 6th round, 205th pick, Minnesota Vikings. And Jordan Glasgow finished it off with the 213th pick in the 6th round. He's a linebacker, went to the Indianapolis Colts. So overall, not too bad for 10 Wolverines heading off to the NFL. Like I said, I'm not too much. I'm more of a college football fan than an NFL fan. So any future sports talks are probably going to be about college football, more specifically Michigan football. I remember back to this game. I was watching it live on my back deck when I lived up in North Jersey, and it was just an absolutely insane game to watch. If you find the YouTube mashup of the last 141 of the game, I think it's like 12 or 13 minutes long in actual air time, but it's only a minute and 41 seconds in game time. It was a crazy series of events. I think 3 or 4 touchdowns scored in just over a minute and 30 seconds, and then that fade to the corner. I think it was to Roundtree, right? That was incredible. I thought he dropped it, to be quite honest. I'm surprised they said it was a catch, but hey, we'll take it. And then the kickoff after that, with as the clock ran down, they almost scored again after the guy touched it, fumbled it, and they almost got it into the end zone. But anyway, I'm excited to have football hopefully back, something to look forward to. I am and was an MLB fan. I'm not missing it too much with them being off air right now. When they come back, it's nice to have, just to put something on if you're just hanging out, have the game on. But I'm not too crushed by not having Major League Baseball right now. Full disclosure, I'm a New York Yankees fan, so when they do come back, that'll be my team of choice to talk about. But for now, I'm definitely gonna do some homework. Start getting caught up on how the signing day went for Michigan, what kind of recruits and freshmen we can expect that are either on campus now, well, not on campus, but that are enrolling early and that'll be there in fall camp. Got to check in on where the rest of the Big Ten is, and then where we think the big games are going to be. Probably over the summer sometime I'll put together my top 10 favorite games that I'm looking forward to, something like that. Won't be just Big Ten, it'll be all the different leagues or conferences. So that's always fun to kind of look at the early schedule, see the first couple weeks of games, and kind of pick out the ones that you're looking forward to watching. Typically, the ABC Saturday night primetime games in seasons past hadn't been, blockbusters, hadn't been the ones you're always looking forward to. But last year, I thought they did a really good job of putting teams that you were excited to watch. I think Clemson played a little too many times on the Saturday night primetime games, but they were coming off the national championship, so I'm sure they got selective picking for those primetime games. But I do like that the Big Ten is doing more night games, playing later into the season in darker weather. It had previously been their kind of unwritten rule that they didn't do night games after, I think after October 31st. They wouldn't do any November night games, but now they're stretching that out a little bit. I personally been to Michigan, the Big House, Michigan Stadium, 5 or 6 times, and I can, during the day I've been, and I can tell you that I can't imagine the logistical nightmare that would be to try to have night games there. So that's why I'd imagine they only do that 1, if not, 2 times a year. Parking situation, whether it's over on the golf course or the Pioneer High School, they just don't have the logistics to try to, fight that battle at night, So, we'll watch the rest of this clip. We'll let that close out. Here you go, that fumble at the end where he almost scores. All right, so we'll probably put together another live stream next weekend, possibly talk some more sports. But we're excited that we were able to figure out how to get the live stream working and give you 10-15 minutes of some content. As we get better at it, as we get more comfortable doing it, we'll come up with a little bit more of a script, possibly have on some maybe guests or something, asking some questions or doing some feedback, doing a discussion. But that's about it for now. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their Sunday. Be safe, be well. Thanks a lot.